I was struggling as a teacher, I was struggling at home, and I was being called out on that, so I needed to do something about it. All right, and I will tell you too, like, I've sat through a lot of TV in my life, and I know the ones that I really liked and then the ones that I felt was a total time waster. I really am not here to do that for you today. I really want you to walk out of here today knowing that there's a previous teacher of 18 years who is using this lens every time I'm planning. Every single time I'm planning something for y'all, okay? I don't want to jump through that yet. So I want you to talk with people around you about this question. So why do you think we're constantly struggling with mental health in education? Like in the education system, why are we constantly struggling? Because we are. Talk with people around you. Why is that happening? Go. They need to get it out of their system, all right? So we got to give them opportunity to do that. All right, let's go back to this. And honestly, there's a lot of kids, why this is happening in our classroom because they have energy or they have a lot of thoughts in their head. They don't know how to express it, and they're not developed all the way, so it comes out in all these ways that bother us as adults. All right. Why are we constantly struggling with mental health in the education system? What did y'all say about that? Why do you think?
We talked about having to like hold a bunch of stuff, and then every year more and more stuff keeps getting added, but nothing is taken away from what we're responsible for doing.
We hear that all the time. Where does that come from? Okay, be honest, get honest. Where does it come from?
Legislators, the community, society.
Yeah.
Other people's accountability. I feel like we try to hold up our accountability, but other people who aren't in the classroom with us are accountable for things that they have no clue about or forgot about.
So a lot of community pressure. Do you guys feel that too? Is that correct? Am I getting that right? You guys getting that, like they're judging, educators are judging us a lot? And I believe that teachers don't need to be therapists, but boy, do you feel like that sometimes, right? Like, I'm not this kid's therapist and I can't be, I don't have time for that and I don't want to take that on. But there are certain things I believe we can all do that will help us manage all those times that they're trying to come to us, because we do carry a lot. On top of all the other stuff people throw at us, all the time. What do you notice about this picture?
There aren't any smiles.
What's there instead?
Frowns,
Anything else?
anger.
Anything else? Nobody's doing okay. Like even the people who haven't fallen off the ledge yet are like, close.
Yeah.
They're waiting their turn.
Waiting their turn. Is that true? Do you guys smile in education? Of course you do. However, there's a lot of hesitation. Because I think underneath a lot of that, we're feeling this way and we're trying to show up and smile, but we're really actually feeling this way a lot. Not always, but a lot. All right? So just notice where you might be here. Are you the one kind of maybe just stepping in? Last session, somebody was like, well, school's like over, well, it's already over, so I'm like going the other way now. And that's great, but you are going to have to come back to this in August. And like I've said before, you're going to start thinking about this in July. You're going to already start thinking in July, like a Sunday night about your Monday morning. You're going to be thinking about, oh my gosh, school's coming. You're going to think about that in July. So I want to shift how you think and feel about coming back. But we're coming from a reactive state of triage. Now, nobody knows where to even start or how they're going to make this thing happen. All right, so I'm going to help you with some of that relief. Okay? All right. So let's just go back just to remind you about, you probably know about this, but I do want to remind you about the stress response, that it all starts in your brain based on your genetics, based on your epigenetics, based on your life circumstances, all right? We're all adults coming into this building too like this. I'm not talking about kids. It's always about the kids, but right now this is about you. And if we're in a constant state of stress and we don't let that come down, we don't come out of it, then that's trouble. Then we're not functioning well. We're trying so hard, and that smile that I got caught making wasn't genuine. And kids know, and our colleagues know, and we know, but we don't want to function that way. It's just not a good place to be, right? So this is how stress is going to show up for your kids and for you. Kids and for you. So we want to move out of this. And you're going to just simultaneously switch those two like that. Okay, and I see some of you like, nope, that's not it. Nope. either, okay? So you're just gonna switch, do it like this, even when you're talking, because you've created neural networks. This is why it matters for us to identify the problem and then realize that an underlying insecurity is the problem, okay? So you see how it's linking. So you're overwhelmed, there's some insecurity there, and it matters so much because you're not gonna function with stability in your life unless you feel secure. Does that make sense? Sometimes we try to create that safety and security for kids, but what about us? What about the adults in that space? What about our adults who worry that these two kids are addicts and I'm worried they're gonna fight and I'm gonna have to step in the middle of it? Or this kid, I can't stand how this kid looks at me. It scares me. I don't like it. Or it makes me uncomfortable. Or we're going all the way back to something that's happened to us a long time ago, and we still have to show up to work and function well and hold on to that. Right? We want you to feel secure in your own environment, whether that's home or work. And then we build an insecurity and we feed that insecurity. They may not like me. They may not think I'm going to do well. I may not get that position. I may not look like I know what I'm doing. And so we want to be careful. We want to separate for now. Later there's other things to do, but for now, I want you to separate who you are from what you do or what you've done. Does that make sense? Otherwise, we're going to stay stuck. And that is contributing constantly to your overwhelm.